And we will now focus on NFT topics, and I would like to invite Mr. Bernard Bukovic, Chairman of Post Innovation Platform, to share with us his presentation entitled NFT Stamps Beyond Collectability. Bernard, you have the floor. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Maybe it's good if I take a mic as well. It's open, you can hear me, that is good. Okay, so my name is Bernard Bukovic. As Alpha said, Postal Innovation Platform. It's really a great pleasure that I can be with you here today. Thank you very much for inviting me. The Postal Innovation Platform, just very briefly, this is an open platform. We focus on anything that drives innovation in the postal and logistics industry. So with autonomous, robotics, AR, VR, think about anything you want. So innovation, that's our thing. Our main sponsors are, for example, Swiss Post, Austria Post, Post Nord, and several others, with which we work very, very closely together, and as well with the UPU, which is one of the strongest partners of us. It was about a year ago that I was talking to some folks within the UPU, and they said, well, take a look at this new company there that we are working with, this company that wants to create a common platform for the entire postal sector for NFT philately. So take a look at StampStack. And that was the time when I said, okay, that sounds interesting. So I arranged a call with Andre, that's the founder and the CEO of StampStack, to have a discussion with him. And after this discussion, he guided me through his plan and all the developments that he had already done. We quickly decided this is something we need to support. So this is why I'm standing actually here today, because we think this is really the way to go for the postal industry. Why? Different reasons for that. First reason, you know OpenSea? OpenSea, that's the biggest blockchain marketplace for NFTs. So NFT, if you want to buy NFTs, you go to OpenSea. If you go to OpenSea, you find NFTs there, stamps, NFT stamps there. So you can buy a lot of them at horrendous prices, of course, and they are not issued by posts. They are just, you know, some people, some guys that make a digital version of a stamp and put them there for sale as an NFT. So all these kinds of things you can find. That's one thing. The other thing, we have heard it today, we have heard it yesterday. There are several postal operators that have already taken a step into the NFT and crypto world. The only thing with this is it all happens in silos. So, I mean, you have one post issuing a crypto stamp on one blockchain, then you have another post issuing another stamp on another blockchain again, and then you have one post even that has several editions already, and each edition is on a different blockchain. Might not sound as a big problem, but for a collector, this is just horrible. Because to transfer, if you want to collect something, you want to have it in a wallet, you want to have it in one place, you can't. I mean, you can, yes, so it's not entirely right. You can transfer from one blockchain to another, but this is very, very costly. So for a collector, it's really a no-go. So the situation that we have today actually is a situation where there's a lot of complexity in this whole system as we see it today, and also not really a lot of transparency. So in StampStack actually made it as their mission to change it. They said, okay, we want to change this. They joined the UPU, we're working with the WATB, so they are members of both. And we as the Postal Innovation Platform, we said, okay, we want to support you as well, because it is my very strong belief that if NFT or crypto stamps will succeed in the long term in the future, it can only be if it is a cooperated effort, if there are common guidelines, common strategies, common standards. If that is not the case, yes, you can sell NFTs or crypto stamps, but then they are not visible anymore, they are gone. And the collectors will be disappointed at one point. So it will not work in the long term. So this is my strong belief. But there is more to that. As we have heard yesterday, stamps, that's much more than just a piece of paper. Stamps represent cultures, societies, countries. You can find achievements on stamps, like scientific achievements, like cultural achievements. You find personalities there that are important for the country, maybe even important for the entire world. Events like sports events, or you can find even events like the creation of a country on a stamp. So it tells us a lot about the country, its culture, its society. Thus, stamps can help to bridge gaps of understanding other nations, other countries, other societies. Um, and this is, I think, very important to understand this educational role that, in principle, stamps can play. I say in principle because with physical stamps, it's nearly impossible. You can, of course, collect stamps from other countries. You can go to fairs. There's a minority of people that will do that. But if they are accessible on the internet, on a platform, digitized, you can do it completely differently. You have a different access. You get a lot of information with it. So the value is a very much increased value. So this is the other reason why I think that NFTs, they are not replacing physical stamps, but see it as an additional layer that is coming to it with a very, very, very strong educational purpose. And maybe it's the renaissance of postal philately as a whole. Let's look at a few figures here. I'm going to the first one here. We have about 60 million stamp collectors around the world. So that's a figure you found by Bloomberg, published. You all know that. You have about 68 million people, well, that buy NFTs, let's put it this way. Just imagine, out of these huge numbers, just a small percentage you can bring to NFT philately, combine it, whether it's NFT enthusiasts or stamp collectors. Today, among those 60 million, just a small percentage, how much new or how a big market this could create. This one here is just to show you the evolution of collecting experience, and it has changed over time as well. This is also something that we have to keep in mind, and we've heard it over the last, well, yesterday and today as well to some degree. In the past, collecting was kind of a process straightforward. You buy something. You can go, I don't know, anywhere and buy collectible cards, for example, or stamps. In the early internet, it was the same. You just ordered it. You go to a website and you order it. This is the very simple way of doing it. But then today we are in Web 2, and in Web 2 this means there's global trading. You have all the social aspects attached with the social media and everything. So the interaction is a completely different one, and this is what collectors demand. But we are entering Web 3. Web 3, blockchain, if you want. There are global contests, games, live experiences. Web 3 creates content. And this is the future. We just have to bear that in mind, that what we see today it's just a fraction. It's the time we live in, but this is changing. We're in the middle of this change process. Now, let me tell you a few things why we think that StampStack is the right solution and why PIP is supporting this project so much. One thing, as I already said, we need one marketplace for global philately for various reasons. In particular, the collector that can find everything, the collector that can trade on one marketplace without having to transfer something, it doesn't really make sense. The other thing is the expertise, and we have heard it yesterday. The presentation from South Africa Post, I very much like the word fear in it. So of course, I mean, blockchain, who understands blockchain in this room? I think there are not so many people that can immediately step up and say, yeah, blockchain, of course, I know everything, that's easy. It's not. You need to have an expertise, and it is very difficult for companies, any organization. I'm not talking about postal companies. For any organization, it's extremely difficult to say, okay, I'm getting now an expert in blockchain and I'm going to master that for my products. That is difficult. So you should get something where the expertise is provided. Most postal operators will simply not hire now, let's say, a staff of 10 blockchain experts to do the job. Another thing, this is also a response maybe to South Africa of yesterday, there is zero investment from the Post. So this is the concept of StampStack, and this is also one of the reasons why we support it, because we think many postal operators, it would be an obstacle if you would demand from them, okay, you have to pay us upfront, I don't know what kind of amount. It should be for free to join it. Then on the sales, and this is now the responsibility of StampStack, of course, on the sales there is a commission. So they are earning money, of course, but there is no upfront investment. And another thing is the primary and the secondary revenue. So what is that? If you look at the crypto and NFT market that you have today, postal operators that issue crypto stamp, how does it work? So to be quite frank, I tried several postal operators that were selling crypto stamps. I succeeded with few, but with some I didn't succeed. So I'm not really a technical analphabet, but still it was difficult for me to find out on some sites for some posts how to do it. It was simply a process that was too complex, and to find the place, so it's sometimes not well done. But the point is, once you sell the crypto stamp, it's done. It's done for the post. You don't control it anymore. You don't know anything about your stamp anymore. Who is the collector? Who is the buyer? What is the buyer doing with it? The post is out of the game at this point. Here, the concept is a different one. A buyer buys the stamp on Stampstack, it stays there. The postal operator has a clear view of what the customer basis is. And if this buyer then decides, I'm going to resell it, let's say you have bought a few bags of NFT stamps and you have a few duplicates, you can say, okay, those duplicates I will sell, as it is with trading cards. The secondary sales, the postal operator also gets a revenue on the secondary sales. But more important, you can follow the process. It's transparent. You are still in the game. It's not that you are out. You are still in the game, and you know, this is my customer basis. Even the new one who buys it is part of your customer basis, and so on and so forth. So this is, I think, extremely important as well. The cooperation. This is one of the reasons, one of the main reasons why we supported it, as we were talking to the UPU in the first step. But it's the postal community that needs to be involved. So it needs to be something that is focused. And this is absolutely dedicated to philately. So a marketplace, for example, that says, okay, we do philately and other NFT stuff or whatever, that wouldn't be interesting. It should be dedicated to philately. Everybody who goes to Stampstack, to this website, knows this is about philately. And this is actually driven by global synergies among the posts. Now, global synergies, what do we mean with that? Of course, if one post is on Stampstack and you have maybe collectors from that country, like La Poste Côte d'Ivoire, that's one thing. Now, let's add another country and their customer base, and another country, and another country. So suddenly you have really a global base, a global marketplace with a global customer base. And if I'm looking at the stamps of La Poste Côte d'Ivoire, because I want to look at them, I will find out, okay, there are also the stamps of Bhutan Post. Let's have a look at that one. Maybe that's interesting for me. So there are synergies among all the posts. And the global postal community, as I said before, the cooperation model, that is, I think, really the one thing that is really key. It is backed by the industry, so the UPU is involved, the WATP is involved, the postal operators are involved in every step. It is copyright protected. We have here an EU registered company with all the laws and regulations that come with it. And it's transparent and auditable. So we have here an organization, if you want, that is controlled by the postal operators. They decide what is happening on the site and what is not happening, and they can steer it. Where we are, La Poste Côte d'Ivoire. We have heard yesterday the presentation. Bhutan Post is now also on Stampstack, and Botswana Post is also on Stampstack very soon. And by 2025, the plan is to have 100 countries on Stampstack. So just imagine the powerful amount of possibilities for collectors to go there. And actually, the approach that you might want to take is a very simple and straightforward one. The easiest way is, as it was done with La Poste Côte d'Ivoire, to say, okay, let's take our historic collection. We have those stamps already. Let's take out of this historic collection some stamps and do the first step into NFT. And so they decided, as you have seen yesterday, the masks. And to be quite frank, I didn't know anything about the masks from La Poste Côte d'Ivoire. Of course, I bought some of them. But the idea here really behind it is you see them, you see the different rarity levels, because every stamp is issued in various rarity levels, and you get all the information with it. So you learn actually really a lot about the country. I buy a stamp, but I also know what does it mean actually. And with regard to stamps, it's not just nice to look at, there is a history behind it. It's always a limited edition, and you can engage with it, NFT collectors or philatelists that are NFT friendly. These are the historic collections. But then take another example, and some postal operators I know are interested in that, to say, okay, maybe we want to issue a new NFT only stamp. It's something where you say, for example, we have an event coming up, but we don't want to publish a stamp. Printing is expensive. We don't have that much time. There's regulation behind it and everything. So this is very complex, but we still want to be present. We still want to celebrate whatever is coming up, what kind of event ever that is. So we want to make an NFT only stamp for that. This is also possible. And then there is the other option to say, okay, why not combine physical and digital? So you have, for example, a hybrid, a stamp approach with first issuing an NFT as a possibility. But if you fulfill certain requirements, you get also the physical set of stamps. So this is also a possibility here. Again, it engages maybe existing philatelists. It's a way to drive them to you, because they know, okay, maybe I'll try out the NFT philately, and finally I also get physical stamps. That's very nice. And in all both of them, you have, of course, gaming benefits and also travel benefits. What do I mean by that? Here, for example, this is a Bhutan Post example, 500 only limited edition, physical stamps, a set of physical stamps. If you complete a full set of 21 NFT stamps, you get the physical set. So this was what was decided with Bhutan Post, and this has been issued with Bhutan Post. So again, you have the NFT approach, but at the same time, you get a physical edition if you really achieved to collect all the 21 NFTs. And it's, as you can see, the 21 stadiums of the World Cup finals, football or soccer, as some might want to say. Here is another thing, and it was mentioned yesterday by the speaker from La Poste Côte d'Ivoire. These are travel goodies, if you want. You can win a travel. So if you collect stamps from La Poste Côte d'Ivoire, and as I said, there are rarity levels, but if you have a certain rarity, you always buy packs, so you don't very often know what you're getting, but on the marketplace, you can also buy specific stamps if they are resold in a secondary sale. So, but here, for example, if you're lucky, you have those specific stamps, a certain number, you can participate in the draw, in the game. And if you're drawn, you can travel to La Poste Côte d'Ivoire and it is paid. Again, what does it mean? You create something more for the collector. You're not just getting an NFT stamp, and it's not just a game where you get some Bitcoin or whatever at the end of the day. You get something real. I buy the stamps from La Poste Côte d'Ivoire, and hey, maybe I can go there. So there is a completely cultural link that is completely different to what we have seen so far. So a completely different motivation also to participate. And the same is with Bhutan. So Bhutan Post did the same thing, saying, okay, if you have certain stamps in your collection, you can participate in the competition. And if you are drawn, you can also visit Bhutan. I don't know how many people from here have been in Bhutan already. So one person. See, there could be an opportunity. 2 people. Could be an opportunity for really many people to go there. So let me sum it up. And I think these are the important key points that you maybe should have here as a takeaway. There is no initial investment. The expertise is provided. You don't need to hire blockchain experts or anything. You can start tomorrow. You can really start tomorrow and say, we have our NFT stamps. Maybe the first step really to say, okay, maybe I want to create an own NFT stamp without a physical stamp that I have so far, or I have a physical collection, of course, a historical collection that goes way back, and I select, let's say, 6 stamps, and let's take the first step and try those 6 stamps as NFTs. The expertise is provided. You can simply do it, straightforward. There is one common platform, and this is, as I mentioned, I think one of the key success criteria for any NFT or crypto strategy in the future. It's for and by the postal community. Again, a very important point. Everybody, and important, that's really important for collectors. If I go to Stampstack as a collector and I buy an NFT stamp there, I know it has been issued by a postal operator. It is not just any person on the internet that has digitized the stamp and puts it up there for sale. It's licensed and copyright protected by the postal operator. So this is extremely important. We do and you control. So Stampstack can do everything, but you control it. So you say, which stamps do I want to go up there? What is the price? What is the design? I told you about the rarity levels. So the common stamp would be probably the design that the original stamp has. But then you can say maybe for the rare, the super rare, the unique, you know, the mask is moving around or whatever technical digital effects you want to attach to it. But you control it, you decide which one you choose, and also the price, of course. So these are the USPs that you should keep in mind, and I think that make it really unique. And if you're interested in the concept, I can just urge you either talk to me, I'm here, or get in contact with Andre. He's the CEO and founder of StampStack. Yeah, and that's all from me for the moment. Thank you very much. Olfa, back to you.